This is the best guide in general for everything when it comes to beginners inside of Dig. So for the most part inside of Dig, there's a lot of, initial like urgency to specific things that you're probably going to need to do to just get better or just in general progression. And one of the main things that we'll be covering in today's video will be both the shovels that I would recommend, obtaining just because of the value that the shovel has. And alongside that, furthermore, things like the shovel, right? Best money methods, and then progression in general, what you should be doing. And then furthermore, later in the video, I'll even show you some tips to some of these on little things you can do to make money faster. So starting off with the first thing, the main thing I would recommend when it comes to progression, right? So when you first spawn in, I would recommend immediately, right, if you haven't, do this tutorial right here. So, go through this. He'll give you like a bunch of random crap, super useless, but you should probably come and talk to him because you can get what's called crates. So the crates will be tradable for some really helpful crap. But the first thing I would note is the first shovel I would recommend buying is going to be this one right here. So skip pretty much all of these unless I think it forces you to buy the training shovel. Try to get to the rock shovel. This is the first one you need. So the rock shovel, the reason why is its stats. Let me just buy it real fast. The stats are very good on this one. So as you can see, the rock shovel also allows you to dig on ground. So it has very high control. The only disadvantage would be its lower haste and strength, but it does have really good control, decent luck for being this, and not really great boss damage, but we'll get into that later. So once again, pretty decent in a general, but it also has this. So it has what's called the preferred. So as you see, the rock shovel's charm synergizes. The shovel has 2+ strength while rock pounder is equipped. So this is a piece of a charm, which these are a whole complicated system in their own. But once again, if you can figure out that, I'll have videos probably coming out soon on the best charms and all that. But for the most part, you do want to try to get that rock or that shovel. And then the next, we're going to go over to this one section I'll go over in a second to get the next rock or shovel. Also do note, if you can get a car, it's going to make your life really easy. You don't want to be running around without a car. It literally will save you so much time for practically anything. So the next one we're going to go get is, in my opinion, for the most part, you could literally just try to do bosses with people and hope you get, the shovel from it. But there's this one at I think it's the Fernhill Forest that's pretty decent. So in here, you're on track when you see the okay, so once I can actually make my way over to it. Holy crap. I'm so good at driving. It's like this in real life, just an endangerment to everyone around me. Oh my gosh. Also, another thing to note, I'll go over in a second why you should get the item detector. It's really good because I'll go over in a second for finding zones and stuff and completing indexes. It's very helpful. Also, I would say mostly necessary. So I think it's this. Nope, this is the wrong way. It's this way. Holy crap. So it's going to be in here. So this shovel is more on the expensive side, but you will need to do a bit of grinding. And I would recommend, if you can, check out my video that should be at the end of this one on macros. So wrong way once again. The macros are very overpowered for practically anything. Can I not just stay on the trail? But they are, for the most part, almost more accurate than you doing it for clicking and all that. It's this way. So it's really helpful. You can also, we're about to release our own, so you can AFK macro for long periods of a time. Super overpowered, especially for literally anything, because you can make a lot of money off of it, and very helpful. As you see, I have $270,000. I believe I'm going the wrong way. I think I need to get to Rooftop Woodlands, which is this way, maybe? Nope, that's definitely the wrong way. Well, we gotta go there anyway. Anywho, before I get in more car crashes. Also, this is another thing. If you ever come across one of these, dig it, get it. Also, this is the macro right here. So, boom. This should be high rarity. Boom. We got a mythical banishing hammer. This thing looks sick. Anyways, that's pretty cool. If you ever come across those, I think they're called deposits. Try to mine those or dig them. They always yield really good rewards. But furthermore, we're gonna keep climbing up this way. So this is going to be, you can obviously follow the roads that are very blatantly obvious, not to, someone as cool as me. This is the next shovel we're going to grab, which is going to be this one right here. So all these NPCs are practically useless. You're going to get this one right here. Really good. It has a 30,000 price. It's pretty decent considering its stats. So decent luck, right? Decent boss damage. And it's pretty decent for most starters. And then it has a good passive, which is the main one to consider. And then the next one is going to be a bit of a jump. Also, if you can, try to take advantage of the traveling merchants. If they're selling the gold digger, this one's really good good because it has a good passive. Honestly, cop it, bro. I'm gonna buy the let's see, I'm gonna buy that, I'm gonna buy that. And these are both pretty good. The Gold Digger is really good because of its ability to turn stuff golden. Reason for that also is decent luck is I also bought a charm. Hold on. The reason for the that's the other thing. So the charm, so see, I have an increase on my strength now, but I had a lack of strength compared to the pizza roller I was using previously. So I can use the pizza roller if I'm fighting bosses, and then switch up to that if I'm using that. That one was a bit more on the expensive side, but the next shovel that is going to be like a must-have is going to be up in Mount Cinder, I believe. So this one's going to be called the I'm blanking on the word something, but it's really hard to get. I think I can just drive up this. Oh yeah, make the jump. Perfect, first try. Now what we're going to do is I can probably take that off. The dig tool, once again, super overpowered, you know. I think I need to go this way. Oh, there's like an underpassage this way, I think. Holy. Yeah, this is the way through it. So this one's going to be called the Frigid Shovel, I believe. This one has really good value because it's one of the ones that also can add mutations or modifications, as I think the Wikipedia calls them, which is weird because they're always called mutations. That's another spot you can get a decent shovel from, but we're going to skip past this and come up here. Now, the reason why we want to use this is it has a, once again, it's not, you know, ultra expensive, but it isn't like cheap. So this is why I'm going to put this on the last one until you really get to like the final stretch of like, this is the best last one to get before you're on like the tier rod. So there's like tiers, I think it's like 1 through 5. And this is like the best one I would rank before you start getting to like final level, you know, rods and shovels. I keep saying rods because it's taking me back to the fish days. Anyways, we're going to come up this way. Just pretty much keep going this way. You're gonna hit Mount Cinder. So in Mount Cinder, you're gonna get here, right? And then I think there's a cave, or unless I went the completely wrong way, because I'm remembering another cave. Anyways, there's a cave, right? We'll, you know, cross that point. Also, you can drift on ice, which is another funny thing. Go up this way, drift, you know, hit a drift if you feel like it. I'm gonna try to find the entrance to the cave to not overcomplicate how long this is probably gonna take. Now this way, bit yonder, a bit yonder, a bit yonder, up here. So this is more of the, or this is a pretty decent area for grinding a lot of items. So if you want, you can get what's called the item detector. Use this and you can find zones, right? So you can like find sections. Also, we're gonna go over this way. So when you're at spawn or the middle area, we're gonna come this way over to this ice cave entrance. So this is where we'll get it. Also, I'm just gonna quickly grab this. This is another cave deposit or deposit. Boom, we got a venomous legendary frozen person. Weird, considering I'm not even using the venomous rod, or not rod. That's actually weird. I wonder if that is bugged. New video. Anyways, this is called Glacial Hollow. So we're gonna head back this way. You pretty much find this one path that's like impossible to continue driving on. I think it's this way, yeah. So you can't really drive that far into it, and then you have to like hop out of your car, or else, you know, you'll crash. And then if you want and you're lazy and don't want to walk like 5 feet like me, you'll respawn your car and then boom, spawn it in, keep driving in, just to drive in like a few feet, I believe. Nope, now you're gonna do an awkward U-E, right, as the cool people call it, an awkward UE just over here, right into this section. So this is what we're here for. This one's 75,000. This is by far the best one in my opinion for most starters. Now this one is going to have the ability to apply the Frigid mutation, which at a 30% chance, which is really good considering the Frigid has like an almost 2x increase on it. Then it has a 22 luck, 6 controlled, 8 strength. It has really good boss damage and high haste. That's one of the main things. Only reason the Gold Digger is better is it has nearly the same chances and stats, but at a loss of the boss damage, it has the ability to do the blanking on what it's called, but it has the slight ability to make something golden, which golden has a higher sell value increase than the Frigid mutation. So it's more of like a win-loss-win type of scenario. You get better stuff than you lose. So the next thing we're going to do is the best money spot. So once you have these, by the way, I have a bunch of other videos on more complicated like rods, not rods, holy crap, shovels. I have a lot of videos that'll hopefully be coming out soon if I can remember to even upload them and work on this channel. Once again, this is just an alt channel. I have a ton of stuff on this, so I'll be releasing more videos just on progression, right, things I've done. But the spot we're going to go for grinding money, this is probably the best spot in general, is, I'm trying to remember, it's off awkwardly to the side where this section is. So there used to be this one spot where like acorns were, really overpowered. You're going to pass the frost lilies, keep going. It's going to keep spamming this till I remember where it is. And the reason why this one's good is it has like a legendary zoning section, so you can get really high base increase and potential chance of getting that legendary, so you can get really good stuff. I think it's just further. I've definitely passed it. Never mind. We're gonna go on to a little side quest. A good bro, I'm so disoriented. Sorry, I barely play this game. The next thing we're gonna do, if you want a good strat when it comes to making, you know, money, right? What you can do is the pizza quest. So pretty much the way this is gonna work, you're gonna come here, and he's gonna say honk, ready to waddle and deliver. You're gonna say sure, accept it. Keep the pizza fresh and don't get it cold. Boom. Now you're gonna have pizza, and then you're gonna get the pizza quest. So pizza, deliver this pizza to your marked customer. You'll see that there, and then you're going to go to said location. Right now, this will grant you a few thousand when you complete it. Very much worth it, considering most of them, the penguins, are always around the mountain, so it's not too hard. Sometimes, so I think the further you have to travel, the more it costs, or the more you get paid, right? So if you have to travel like all the way down to another entire area, right? This is gonna suck, but at the expense of, you're gonna get like literally 3,000 or more points out of it. So really good in that scenario, but for the most part, it is still kind of rare. So also, I'm remembering to do this. I'm gonna show you the section that I grind money at, which is, it's a spot where the ice bear can be collected, or not collected, right there, the polar bear. This section right here is really overpowered. So right in front of that area right here. So if you can't, once again, it's just in front of this section right here. Really overpowered because you can get the ice bear from it. See, I'm pulling a legendary immediately. Super good. And we got the, boom, a gold legendary polar bear. I keep calling it ice bear because I watch too much We Bare Bears. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This was a long video. I didn't mean to make it this long, but I was a bit disoriented with a lot of random crap. And I'll see you on the next one.